What can you use to attract catfish? If you're going to fish for catfish, channel cat, on flats, which is where they are, what's a great thing to use to attract them, where you can get a lot of them gathered up around your boat so you can whack them, whack them, whack them, whack them? Good morning, guys and girls. June 27, reading from a Catch a Better Life book on YouTube, the Catch a Better Life channel on YouTube with Jimmy Houston. If you are not subscribed to that channel, please go in there and subscribe to that channel right now. 26 or 7,000 people on there. Some of the greatest people you'll ever run into. You'll just enjoy being on that channel. Your life will get better. You want your life to get better? There's a way to do it. It won't cost you a penny. Subscription's absolutely free. Catch a Better Life with Jimmy Houston on YouTube. Today we're looking at Matthew 7:3. We have a scripture for every single day. We have a devotional built around fishing, and we have a fishing tip for every single day. We're going to tell you how to catch catfish here at the end of this. Matthew 7:3 says, "Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but you don't consider the plank that's in your own eye?" Why? That's looking at faults in others is what it's doing. Here's what I wrote about that. We all love fishing around brush. That's where lots of bass and crappie live. The more brush we fish, the more fish we're going to catch. Absolutely no doubt about it. But we need to learn how to fish the brush without getting hung up too much. You're going to get hung up if you're fishing in brush occasionally. But you need to learn how to fish it where you can fish it effectively and thoroughly and still not get hung up too much. We also need to learn how to unhang our baits. You hear what I'm saying? We're going to get hung up. We need to learn how to get the baits loose. Learn the bow and arrow technique, where you hold the line in your hand and you use your rod tip as the bow to power a big impact down the line and free the lure. This saves lots and lots of baits. Now, it will work on braided line, but not nearly as well as it will on monofilament. It'll work on fluorocarbon line better than it will braid, but not as well as it will on monofilament. Monofilament line's got some stretch. When you stretch that thing and turn it loose, it really shoots a lot of power down that. I'll tell you what I'll try to do. I'll try to do a tip on the bow and arrow technique sometime soon and get it up on our Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing channel on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to that, we broke that channel off from our ranch channel back the first of this year, and it's Jimmy Houston Outdoors Fishing. It's all fishing. It's all fishing. Got lots and lots of fishing tips, little short fishing tips like that on there, as well as episodes of catching fish and doing all kinds of things. Occasional looking back at some of the things in the past, and just a real great little fishing channel. You're going to enjoy it, love it. We just started it. Got about 7,000 people on there, but it's a good one. We can get hung up in the weeds of life as well, the brush piles of life, the log jams of life. We find ourselves in sin when we do that. We find ourselves in sin. Today's scripture challenges us to look at our own shortcomings instead of worrying about the small things that's wrong in others people's lives. Why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, a little small, insignificant thing they're doing wrong, and you're not looking at the big, giant log in your own eye? That's sort of what it says. We worry too much about the small things that are wrong with other people. People who focus on others' shortcomings and not their own are called hypocrites. Hypocrites, that's right. You hear that word a lot. That's a common, charge against Christians. Oh, they're just a bunch of hypocrites down there at that Baptist church. Oh, they're just a bunch of hypocrites down there at Catholic church. And there are plenty of hypocrites warming church pews in every single denomination. Plenty of hypocrites out there. They will complain. Politicians, oh boy, are politicians hypocrites. Today, when we see others making mistakes, or we see the mistakes that others are making in their lives, let's just zip it up. Zip it up. Zip it up. Zip it up will solve a lot of problems. Let's check on our own hang-ups. Let's look and see what things that others are seeing wrong in us. Many times they'll be talking about them. But the wrongs that we see in others, let's just zip it up. Let's just zip it up and don't talk about it. Here's our tip for today. This is really a good one. I learned this back when I was in high school and college. My dad had a general store, and he sold feed. One of the feed that he sold was hog pellets. That's right, 24%, I believe it was. Might have been 32% protein hog pellets, high-protein hog pellets. And now Dad sold them actually by the pound there, being again 50-pound bags. You keep a 50-pound bag open. And he sold a lot of bags that were for catfish attractant. We would simply take a minnow bucket, just well, they were made out of metal, aluminum back then, a metal minnow bucket, and we'd fill it about half full of hog pellets, and we'd go out, Chris and I would anchor on a flat, 15, 20 foot of water, and we'd scatter hog pellets all around the boat. I tell you what I'll do, once we get our new Lucky Strike catfish bait, which hopefully is coming pretty soon, once we get a new Lucky Strike catfish bait, I'll do a catfish show on Lake 10 Killer, and we'll try that. We'll see how it works. We'll take the hog pellets and throw it at, and I'm going to tell you how well I know it works. One night, Chris and I caught 153 channel cat on a rod and reel. A lot of them pound and a half, 2 pounds, some of them 5, 6 pounds, but we caught 153. They're all bulging bellies because the hog pellets, they're small when you throw them in the water, they expand. They expand, and the fish just get gorged on them. When they come around there and start eating those hog pellets, we catch them, we keep them. All right, here we go. Hog pellets in the summertime. It is great. I'm telling you, it works incredibly well. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, I sure do love you.